Finger Guns Comedy.
Oh yeah, what's up, everybody? Well, I was starting the show. Sorry, did I interrupt you, Mary? I didn't catch you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's my laptop, but Steve and I are the only ones that are moving on my screen.
Well, I was dancing. Let's everybody do. We could do a dance party for everybody. Well, what's up, everybody? This is Finger Guns Comedy. Finger Guns Comedy live. We come to you every week now that we're all shoot to the sky. Pew pew pew. We come to you all every week Thursday 6 p.m. where we like to just talk about stuff. We aren't allowed to talk and be in person anymore, so I try to make us all fit and make it look like we're all put in one room. That's what we're here to do. Of course, joining us today we have Steve Sotelo. He's this way. How you doing, Steve?
I'm good. Hoping that I'm gonna be able to stay on this call. My laptop's been fucking up this past 15 minutes, so keep our prayers up.
Okay, well that's good. We're all gonna pray. I'm gonna check in with your prayers, and if you want to just come in with a prayer, kind of as we're talking today, feel free. Go ahead and just feel free to do that.
Just pray in the middle of the
go
live
ahead. Yeah, please. And
whenever I want, in the middle of a conversation, I just start.
I know.
Praying.
I did say explicit instructions to maybe not interrupt people, but I am on air, and now it is canon to you can interrupt people. So that's what we're doing. We're doing it live. Of course, we are also joined by 3 other great guests. Oh my God, we got a packed show today. We got 3 guests. What is this? In a World podcast? Speaking of In a World podcast, we have the host, Mary Nguyen, with us today, coming from her bedroom, it seems.
Hi, yes, it is. Twas
you
coming from my bedroom.
I didn't know there was a mystery afoot, and she just revealed it before the pod.
There's constantly a mystery afoot around me.
It's mostly just like what movie we're gonna watch next, right? On the podcast, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What is
it? Haunts me.
You. How is that? Well, actually, so for those of you that don't know, Mary does host a podcast called Inner World Podcast. I'm a producer, but I like to say I'm the co-host.
I think you're the only one who says that.
And I know. But I still say it. But anyway, so you pick bad movies that are that have bombed in the box office, and you select them usually with the guests.
I mean, to be fair, with like our other guests on the show, we've done good movies that have been perceived as bad.
That is true.
The ones that we've done a couple. One comes to mind with our 2 guests currently, and it was the Hurricane Heist with How to Be Human Hosts.
How do we human hosts? Speaking of that, what a great transition. Look, this is my show, okay? You're not the co-host. I do the transitions here. But no, thank you for that. We are joined by Chris Binning and Evan Cox of How Do We Human podcast. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
We are I'm speaking for both of us. I think we're both doing great.
We texted about it.
I'm glad. Chris, how are you doing? I like the setup. You have a great camera setup going on.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's you got a nice jacket going on there. Your lighting is actually really good. I bought a Diva light. That's why my lighting is very good. I don't know.
I'm literally just using like a Pixar desk lamp to shine down on my face.
Oh, you bought? It's a special edition Pixar lamp. Did you get it from Disneyland?
Yeah, It's the one that's in the intro that jumps across the letters.
Oh wow!
Squishing that out.
So you have a pet.
Yeah, that's right.
You have a pet in these
Yeah,
trying times.
Disney's going through hard times right now. They're just fire selling everything, including the Pixar logo.
We can't afford to lose any more eyes.
Well, and then have you heard that that little quip? That was Evan Cox, who's got a look at that professional microphone setup he's got going. That's more professional than mine. What is this? If his that bedroom and that microphone look at all familiar, you might be a fan of his on his YouTube channel, where he is currently playing a cover every single day or releasing it on YouTube. He's also again the host of How Do We Human, and he's going to play some music for us. If you could see his Takamine, that's like the acoustic guitar behind it. He's going to play some music for us today. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'll do pretty good. It's cold in my apartment, so we'll see, which is notoriously great for voices and guitars. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I do see a heater. The fans can see a heater right now.
The fans can see a heater.
The fans can
get that out.
We're gonna the fans erupt. The fans have erupted in the chat asking for more heater.
I have a finicky pilot light.
You know what? We actually did have to fix ours before we came to this whole this new winter. We had the same situation actually. We had to, we would light the thing. These things are so finicky, but we would light it, and there was so much dust and like cobwebs. It would just like blow up in our face. So eventually we had to call.
You gotta just let that happen for like an hour straight before it all burns
or just
away.
burn the house down, and that's
terrible.
the heat that I will survive on in a very short amount of time. But yeah. So I don't know. Speaking of that, I got a hot take for you guys. I got a little story, if you guys don't mind. So I got an email from my landlord asking for a favor. Let me see if I could pull it up. But it was coming soon. We all thought it was coming sooner or later, but it was a change.org petition to I guess get the government to let mortgage rates like essentially they don't have to pay their mortgage for like the next 12 months. They said 12 months. That's what the petition's for. For the next 12 months, no one needs to pay their mortgage, and the landlord is asking us to pass it on. Sounds pretty good, right? Sounds pretty. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Well, I mean, I saw on Twitter today that there was he had tweeted something that was like their landlord sent them a list of like homeless shelters as like a threat to like, hey, I can still evict you. So in terms of like what a landlord could send to you, that seems great.
I should not even be complaining now. That is terrible. What a monster.
Wait,
yeah.
Adam,
sure.
Question. Will he pass the savings on to you as a consumer?
Okay, so that's what we were talking about here. That's what we thought was like, what was this thing? I will go ahead and pull it up and see if I can get it to the I'll get it going here. But essentially, it was I started reading it because I was like, I'm not really anything for landlords right now. I want to sign something for renters, for people, like actually struggling. The landlords, like, you were rich enough to buy the fucking thing. Like, we're the ones paying you. It's not our fault. Like, that we can't pay you. We're the ones.
Can I?
Well, go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
So my family business is rentals. So we are landlords. So I can tell you, not all of us have millions of dollars.
Okay, well, I'm not necessarily.
So like we have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we have 12 people, like 12 tenants, and we can't charge any of them.
What do you mean?
Rent. And so that's like for the moratorium, none of them are going to pay. Like it's statewide. So if you can't, like, so they were actually really smart. they were all able to give us the paperwork that said like, hey, we are not going to be able to pay it before like the moratorium started. So like because of that, we can't charge them rent. Like there's like a whole thing that was given by the governor. So like all the renters have rights now, but the bills still have to get paid, and unless you have a mortgage on your apartments that you own, you have to pay all that up front. So like we luckily paid all of the apartments, but we still have to pay all the bills for said apartments, like all the water, the gas, the electricity.
Yeah.
Which kind of
I can kind of catch what you're saying there. I mean, and to be fair, I'm not necessarily saying like fuck all landlords, because there are a lot of people that are very much like into like they're definitely like, there's nice people like you. But what kind of made me mad was that they took this chance for this change.org petition to like make it weirdly political. They made it so like let's just see. I'm just gonna throw this up here. You guys can't see it. Maybe on the chat they will. But so let me just throw this up. But essentially, it was just like, first off, it started off with pray. Like everybody needs to pray. And I was like, okay, like maybe praying's cool. Praying's cool, guys, right? Like, it's cool, right? Yeah, Evan thinks it's cool, right? And Steve, remember I did ask you to pray. So don't forget that.
This is a prayer-heavy episode.
Why you told me to pray?
Yes, yeah. This is a prayer-heavy episode.
We're like living on a prayer.
Are we in church right now? Is this what is going on? You're just bringing all of us into the church of like Adam?
We are. This is the Church of Adam. You're all welcome.
I'm going to be leading a few hymns.
And hers.
Oh yeah, this is the stuff you get on How Do We Human. I love it so much. No, but it's essentially like, let me just try to throw this up on here. Like it's just not it's not cool, guys. I don't know. I can't explain it any further. Let me try to read it to y'all real quick. So let's see. So pray. To those of you who pray, we hereby ask you to pray for God, wisdom, and understanding, yada, yada, yada. As our president has requested, pray and pray and pray. It is whatever after that, right? Like I'm already like, fuck this, but already it's, it just needs to get to 50,000 followers or whatever, 50,000 signers. And we all, I guess it goes to, I don't know, the White House or wherever the fuck it goes, right? I'm sure it goes to Gavin Newsom or something. But the thing is, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm for the mortgage rates being kind of forgiven for right now. But I don't want to sign something that would necessarily go towards, I don't know, like somebody saying like, I think Gavin Newsom's doing a bad job, essentially, right? I don't want to get too political, obviously, but this is where we are, right? I guess what I'm just saying is it's hard to get behind something that could potentially help me, and it's, by the way, it's got like 49 people that have signed it already.
49?
49,000 already. So it's like,
Oh,
okay. That's a big difference.
Sorry. wild.
You buried the lead there. Talk about
So people are like wildly like fuck this, and that's why I'm complaining about it. But no, actually, if you could see, it's actually 40,749 people have signed it out of the 50,000. So like it's still a shitload of people.
Wow.
And I think it's specifically only for Californian people. So I don't know. I know Mary, you are not one of those people that necessarily have to worry about like I guess landlords per se. You're not like having an apartment, right?
I'm pretty lucky in that like I have a pretty sweet living situation.
Sweet stitch.
And very easygoing. But I do think that it is kind of unfair for a lot of people who are like I'm pretty empathetic of like the people who have to rent, because like a lot of people don't have family around and they moved out to LA and they're just there by themselves basically, or with roommates and stuff, and it's completely unfair how that petition is, and like to expect people who got laid off. We are at 7 million people who are getting unemployment checks and stuff. So, and it is, I don't know, like I just feel like what comes to mind when you were reading that to me is like what Warren Buffett said, which was to diversify your portfolio. So you shouldn't be only in property rentals. You should be having a very healthy portfolio. This is Economy Corner right now by Mary.
Economy Corner by Mary. I love that. Yeah. Well, so you're saying then the reverse, like maybe landlords, don't feel so bad about landlords because maybe it's, they should have diversified rather than divest solely in real estate.
Yeah, it's like almost how they were blaming the millennials for everything. I don't know. Why can't we reverse it? Blame the boomers for not diversifying their portfolios.
Blame those boomers. Blame them.
Yeah. I'm pro fuck boomer. So yeah.
Pro fuck boomer. I love that. Evan.
Yeah. Pro fuck boomer.
Does this make you mad? Does this make you angry?
Does it grind your gears, Evan?
Does it really grind your gears?
Steam your broccoli.
Ooh, it steams my broccoli, which is nice because I like broccoli. Yeah, I'm not super on top of the real estate world and what them people go through. Let's just we're all fucked.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
We could just all be fucked together. That's all I know.
That's what I mean though. Like, okay, like why do we gotta like make this political? Like we're all fucked here. Why do we gotta do this?
We're trying to make it a case of like someone has to lose. How about you lose instead of me? I was like, nah, man, we all lost. It was bad.
So Chris, so where did you see this tweet about the homeless shelter? Like the landlord emailing?
On Twitter is where I saw that tweet.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know. I look at things, I scroll by, I don't remember where anything comes from anymore.
Like a lot of us, we see, oh, that's fucked up, and then scroll on by. Animal Crossing tweet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just trying to get to Paul F. Tompkins tweets, and so whatever I see on the path there is, I think about it, and then I move on.
No, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you wanted a hot take from me.
Oh yeah, and I would love that.
It comes, baby.
Oh yeah.
Does change.org do anything?
Yes, I was actually gonna ask that too.
Or is it just where everybody can come together and say, I also think this is a problem, and I'll sign my name so it feels like I do something, and then the legislatures are like, well, whatever, there's no money for me, see ya.
Well, I know for a fact nothing happens from it because I think the number one most voted on change.org petition was to create a Death Star, like right next to the moon, like a Star Wars Death Star. It had something like 9 million votes or signs or signatures, where's our Death Star?
Yeah,
know?
the people want it.
Where's our
Yeah.
Death Star?
Don't we have Space Force?
We do have Space Force.
Yeah.
Maybe
that what we signed up
Maybe that's
for?
what we got. That's what we got out of it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I can't remember seeing any change.org things that passed and then was like, hey, it happened. Remember Guar was going to play the Super Bowl? That hasn't happened yet.
Hey, Steve, you're like half of your face is like seen in the camera right now. You look like you're just like peeking over like Evan's head, right? like a fence in a Home Improvement.
Oh, good.
You found any hair up there?
Yeah.
He's checking your hair for follicles right now. He's picking out lice and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Well, actually, why don't we throw the focus over to Evan and take a little break? Well, I'd love to talk about some change.orgs, but speaking of change, real quick, Evan, you got a song for us?
Yeah, I could do a song, I think.
Nice. I love it.
Let's see.
Oh, we got a guitar.
I hate this feeling because I know there's other people watching, but like I know all you guys, and right now I feel like I'm at the campfire and I just pulled my guitar out of nowhere. I'm like, all right, guys.
Wonderwall.
You really kind of did.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm just gonna pull this mic away a little bit and hope that sounds like anything.
Awesome.
All right. I'll just do this one song first.
What's the name of the
Go
song?
ahead. This song is 100. This seems to be the one that people like. So give the people what they want.
Do it. That's what.
So,
This is the Death Star of songs, is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
This is
I'm
like,
feeling.
this is Guar playing the Super Bowl.
I love it. Okay.
All right.
So this song is called Guar playing the Super Bowl, right? That's what you said?
This is now called Guar playing the
I
Super
love
Bowl.
All right, let's hear it.
Meditate and aggravate me, marble on a plane. Cruising to the best and getting stalled by grief again. If it's all the same with you, I'm sorry. It's all the same, I swear I need it all. Ain't got a pretty thought, I'll come to life again. Get to take a steady shot into a breeze I bend. If it's all the same with you, I'm sorry. It's all the same, I swear I need it all. A minute makeshift mellow, and I got the key to keep it out. A minute makeshift mellow, and I got the key to keep it out. It's what you want for. What's it matter? Fill the meter, make the piper pay. No, you did the right thing, it just hurts when it decays. If it's all the same with you, I'm sorry. It's all the same, I swear I need it all. My new makeshift mellow, and I got the key to keep it out. No one tells you 100's not an achievable amount. It's what you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
That was sort of that song. I messed up most
No.
of those lyrics.
Oh, really? Oh,
sure.
man, that was awesome. I love the kind of detuning stuff you had going on there.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
It's got a cool like I don't know, would you describe that as like kind of like a metal type of vibe or like a
Yeah, kind of like I don't know, alt rocky. That's kind of like kind of guided by voices, Pavement sort of
Yes,
inspiration for
definitely
that
heard some
one.
Pavement.
Very 90s. But yeah, I have not. The funny thing is, I'm just like playing guitar in my apartment, which I do all the time. But I haven't really played for other people in like a decade.
Really?
So,
So are we your debut performance right now?
yeah, but I will also say this, in an essence, is Chris's first concert. So,
Oh,
It's true. I've never really been to a
wow.
concert.
so there's a lot
Your
of firsts
first
going on right
concert
now.
was during a quarantine where all other concerts are shut down, and it
Yeah,
it was
make it
on
happen
Finger
here.
Guns Comedy. Dope.
It's like it's perfect because the things that I don't like about crowds, I gotta be worried about if I'm gonna beat traffic out of there. And now in quarantine, it's like the perfect time for me to have a concert.
I mean, truly, that's kind of what I was trying to get at by like doing all this stuff is like, you know what, like I think we should just stay like this after the quarantine. Maybe that's a hot take. I don't know. Like maybe we should just.
I was wondering about, like, I was talking with people because people right now are, weirdly enough, we're very connected. We're all having these, like, Zoom, Skype happy hours, and people are just, like, interacting and reaching out to each other more. And there seems to be this level of love happening, which is nice, But I truly feel like the second we're able to go out, like, this is over. We're never connecting like this again.
Well, I mean, I have talked to my neighbors, and I have lived here for almost 2 years. I literally, it's just like, you guys good? Like, what's going on? We should talk about our landlord, right? Like, I don't know. Chris, as far as concerts go, that's a 10 out of 10 because this is your first experience, yeah?
Absolutely. And I don't want to leave any room for improvement. 10 is where you start.
You don't have to do another one. But
Exactly.
I'm gonna.
Fingers crossed.
I can't guarantee that because I told Evan to prepare at least one more song, so you have another concert coming at you.
All right, I'll see. We'll see how that one falls. 10 out of 10.
Yes. Oh, so we've turned this into a rating system for Evan. So I'm sure he'll feel very good about this.
Feels great.
I'll turn my chair around, and then when I like the song, I'll swivel back.
Let's all do that. Let's all do that.
Yeah, I'll be the enchanting host. Who's the host of The Voice?
I don't know.
Carson Daly.
Carson Daly's the host.
Oh, I think it is.
I think that's right, or at least was.
Oh, he's Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
Look at us.
So.
It's a swiveling chair. That's the host.
Well, if we could just circle back to speaking of swiveling,
Chairs themselves.
Speaking of swiveling, let's circle back to that hot take of Chris's real quick. Has anybody ever signed a Change.org petition that you've seen something happen? Does anybody, Mary? Have you seen that?
Well, I think someone posted on Facebook the Change.org. It's an awful one. I don't know who posted it, but it was like, you know how like things, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get worse now that a lot more people are out of work, but like before, correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys remember this, before the quarantine, BQE, if you will, how a lot of people actually lived in these like tent towns, you know, along the rivers and stuff of Los Angeles. And someone posted a Change.org. There was a tent town that was popping up next to a mall, and in a really like nice area. And the Change.org was basically to get rid of the tent town, which is awful, and they had no alternative for it. It just said, we need to get rid of these people. And I was thinking to myself, these people probably work at the mall. Like they can't afford to buy a car and pay for insurance and stuff. So they can't afford a home because we are barely paying living wage in the lease. But yeah, so and obviously it happened. It worked. They got rid of the tent town.
We're saying that.
So the only ones that come through are the bad ones.
Only the bad ones work. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to take that. What does that even mean? So I guess, well, yeah, obviously this landlord one that I showed y'all might work. I guess if it's at 40,000.
Yeah. Right.
So what is it? So democracy is for the bad people? Is that what we're learning?
I think capitalism in democracy is for bad people.
That's fair. Yeah. Steve, have you ever signed a change.org petition?
Yeah, you signed
that one. Out of all the change.org petitions, that's the one you signed?
I only sign the ones I'm passionate about.
Would you say you're Steve, would you say you're a political person?
I used to be really a lot more, but now I just know like these things are clearly wrong, and I don't need to look past, or you only need to look into it more. What I care about more, if anything, is local, legislature.
You're a local.
Like, I don't really care about I'm a local boy. Well, you know me. I love my city that I came from, so I'm gonna be like, yeah, I gotta care about what's gonna be happening in my city, even though I'm moving.
For those of you,
so it doesn't really matter.
That don't know, Steve grew up in Upland, California. He refers to himself as the king of Upland. No, the prince of Upland. Either way, he's royalty of Upland.
Prince of Upland.
As far as being active in the I guess the democratic side of Upland, where does that fall into your royalty? Do they vote you in and out? Is this kind of like an England deal where you just kind of are like a figurehead and the locals are there?
I'm a figurehead.
Okay.
So you know what's funny is that this month is our annual festival called the Lemon Festival, but because of quarantine, it's not going to happen.
Oh.
But I usually make an appearance there.
What kind of appearance?
Is there a lemon crown?
Well, yeah, there is, but that goes to the person who eats the most lemon meringue pie.
Oh my god!
We have a lemon meringue pie eating contest, and they get the lemon crown.
I want a lemon meringue pie so bad right now.
That was the one part of the lemon festival I did not like because I don't like meringue. I love lemon pie. Just don't give me the meringue part.
It would be weird if you loved meringue and hated lemons.
Well, no, that's like the British. The British all love meringue. It's like they have cookies that are just meringue, and so
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is why we had we went to war with
meringue.
them.
We did it
because of meringue. Yeah.
Did you just grab a snack? What is that? What did you just grab, Evan? Oh, it's lemon.
It's a lemon.
Yeah.
Your crate.
Is this ADD?
Oh, yeah, I love it. So Chris, so now that we've talked about change.org and how some effect can happen, how are you feeling now regarding your hot take?
You know, I feel like I'm still right, as I always do. Yeah, I mean, I feel like because the change.org petitions that especially make their way into my circle are maybe they're just the extremely dumb ones that are like, hey, shut down Rotten Tomatoes because it gave Batman v Superman a bad score. Shut down.
Shut down Rotten Tomatoes.
I think also the big one that I remember was like that Coney 2012.
Oh
one.
yes, I think that's probably the most famous aside from the Death Star one.
Right, where everybody signed it, and then like, hey, we dealt with this like 8 months
Years ago.
This isn't a problem.
Yeah, so it worked, is what you're saying.
yeah, you're right. I'm gonna start a petition on Change.org also to like abolish slavery in the U.S. and then it'll work.
Yeah, it worked. Well, the best part about that Coney 2012 story is that dude, who like did the documentary or what started it, ended up like exposing himself naked in San Diego or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
That was what a crazy time.
But it was almost like a month later. Like the dude he like rose to stardom and fell immediately. Like he didn't have like it was not a fun. Speaking of flattening the curve there. He didn't really flatten there. I could do these. I could do. This is
stand-up.
I could do this now that it's all video. It doesn't really come.
And still look embarrassing.
It doesn't really come across. It doesn't really come across on the podcast. Yeah. Well, I think we're coming to the close, guys. We're getting pretty close to the end. So, Chris, we gotta just before we end it, or we got a little bit more time, but just gotta weigh in. Was that a yes or a no? Did we change your mind?
No.
Evan just really quietly whispered it into the microphone over Skype. When I said, "Did we change your mind?" Evan said, .org.
Oh, me?
I thought you delayed for a second.
I said .org. And I think the rest of us are going to sign a change.org petition to change Chris's mind.
Chris, did you change your mind.org?
/no.
Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, Evan, why don't you, if you don't mind, could we have another song?
Certainly. I'd have to tune this up.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Talk amongst yourselves.
If you could mute your
I'm ready
microphone
to
while
go.
you're doing that. Thanks. No, I can't. I don't think I can. Can I? I don't know.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks. Well, while he's doing that, what's your? Have you ever watched The Masked Singer? I don't know. I'll just buy time here.
That's where Nick Cannon
is that where he's the host? I thought he hosted something else, like America's Got Talent or something.
He did that for a while.
Yeah, now Terry Crews hosts America's Got Talent.
He's like 3 shows, right? Terry Crews? Who knew that dude from White Chicks was going to be the ultimate star at the end of that? It wasn't going to be the Wayans brothers.
Well, the Wayans brothers were huge, and then as most things happen, they just kind of went downhill. Not like Coney, but it took 20 years.
Did a real Coney situation, and went downhill there. Mary, actually, let me ask you a question. Are you kind of a person that's into like the indie rock type of stuff? I don't really know what type of music you like.
I don't know because
I don't know.
If you listen to our podcast, In a World Pod,
nice plug.
cast,
Sweet plug.
Nice.
Whenever Adam brings up any music for movies, I am silent. I'm speechless, only because I like music and I think it's great, but for some reason it doesn't interest me as much. Like I do enjoy a lot of I've been listening to a lot of Doja Cat.
What is that?
Doja Cat's good.
Yeah,
Steve,
please elaborate, Steve.
Yeah. There's some like meme songs she does, and she's known for those kind of well. But her actual real music is pretty good. Like "Say So"
Yeah.
is a real
It's a banger.
banger.
Yeah, there's
she's
a
good.
Japanese cover of that she recently listened to on Instagram Live, and she was just reacting so positively and like so like excited about hearing her a Japanese cover of her own song, and so that made me like her even more. I think I'm more into like people's personalities than their music.
I could buy that. That's personalities music. Well, speaking of personalities, I love me some Evan, and it sounds like he's ready for some music there. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's hit it, buddy. What's this next song
All
called?
right. Now that you throw to it, I realize it doesn't have a title. This is a new one. Nobody
Untitled
but me
Evan
and all my
Cox
neighbors have heard this. Yeah, Untitled
Love
Evan
it.
Cox Project, written during the quarantine time. Not necessarily about it, but it kind of fits in
Love
there.
it. All right.
I-
Quarantine time.
yeah.
That's what we're calling
It
it.
was quarantine time.
You do have to go home.
And you have to stay
Oh, I love
here.
it. Love it.
All right, here we go. Rip your heart and call it home. Believe the bastards they won. Winners get the last along. We can sail away on your charm, and if it tastes like hell, then get back. Well, who could cash a check off your ass? Static third act is pulling you in. There will be space just to stop and breathe in. Breathe in. Settle in your favorite shirts. For when you thought you'd hit pay dirt, save your conscience with a lie. Become your least liked alibi, and if it tastes like hell, then get back. Well, who could cash a check off your ass? The static third act is pulling you in. There will be space to just stop and breathe in. Breathe in. All it takes is merely aches, my friend. We're not counting up your fake amounts. Nobody else can make you feel complete. And if you take it wrong, I'll trash the song and I will take a seat. But if it tastes like hell, then get back. Well, who could cash a check off your ass? The static third act is pulling you in. There will be space just to stop and breathe in. Breathe in.
yeah. That was so good. Chris, I think your microphone's muted. I don't know if you could unmute that. Got it? Evan, that was just so good. I freaking love that.
Yeah.
And we definitely know, Chris, he turned his chair around. So
Yeah.
I didn't see.
Before you start.
I felt weird having a screen of 4 people staring at me. I turned your chairs away.
That was really good, man. Very soothing in this trying time now, man.
Try to be.
Steve, any final thoughts? I haven't heard any prayers from you yet.
It's because I felt like as soon as I was gonna pray, my Skype would turn off, and so I saw this like the light on my laptop was flickering, and I was like, oh nope, I'm not gonna chance it.
I'm gonna
Just
be
gonna
real
ride the
honest with you.
wave.
You've been real glitchy this whole time. I didn't want to say it. You've been real glitchy. But
Now we're signing a change.org thing to fix Steve's internet.
ChangeMyMind.org to guess what, guys? That's going to be the name of the episode. ChangeMyMind.org. Mary, any final thoughts? And Steve is pretending to be frozen. Don't.
You fucking knew my
But the
trick.
best part about that is that when you reacted, your video was actually frozen. So go back and watch that. It was awesome. It was great. Mary, any final thoughts?
Take vitamin D right now
Hell yeah.
because it is not sunny and we're cooped up inside because of this quarantine, and then on top of this rain. So I think people are going through a bit of a depression. So please take some vitamin D right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, all the rain right now for sure. Evan, any final thoughts?
Hi. Final thoughts. I think my only real thought this episode is we're all fucked. So, is that the takeaway from me? I don't know. That feels negative. I don't want to be negative. Love each other, and keep. Here's my takeaway. Keep all this up. You know, this quarantine's gonna end at some time, but let's all stay connected and love each other. We're a bunch of sweeties.
We're all a bunch of sweeties.
Keep Zoom calling.
Guys, do you just want to do a virtual hang right after this? Let's just keep this party going.
Hell yeah.
I got a couple things I gotta do.
We both know that your maid is waiting for you to deliver food. That was an off-pod conversation. Chris.
Oh yeah.
Chris, it's coming at you now. It's coming at you. Did we changeyourmind.org?
Oh god.
Change your mind. Change.org. Damn it.
I don't know what just happened. I'll rate the concert though an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, so good. So good. Well, as always, this is Finger Guns Comedy. Why don't we, Mary, why don't you go ahead and plug your thing? That's plug all the things you need right now.
As you know, like paw.com, that's our website info, everything. Also right now, my friend on Instagram who is at Josh Park DP, he's doing something really great right now. He's 3D printing PPE professional personal equipment for medical people. A lot of hospitals are in need of them. We have a national shortage. He's doing what he can in LA right now. He over the weekend he delivered over 80 face shields for our frontline people and our nurses and doctors and physicians assistants who are working frontline right now. Right now he's starting to print out actual I think it's like UVE boxes to sanitize things within 5 minutes. So, and that costs a lot. He told me the price of it. It's like $170 to get all the materials to print one. And he actually printed one, which is on his Instagram story right now. So go check out his Instagram. He's taking donations. He's posting updates constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go check him out.
And Evan and Chris Where can we hear more of your sweet hot takes about life?
Hit it.
Oh, you can follow us. You can follow our podcast at How Do We Human on Instagram. You can
we got that handle.
We got that handle. We can find those episodes every Monday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere that you get your podcasts.
Nice. Evan,
that's all I got.
Is there an album or a YouTube channel we can subscribe to?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There are.
Just taking a guess.
Yeah, that's so weird. Things under Evan Andrew Cox at this point. You can find my music on Spotify, and I've got a YouTube channel right now just for quarantine time, keeping busy. I'm covering a song a day. Kind of fun, but also work. But people seem to be enjoying it, so I'll keep it up for a while.
They're really great. I actually kind of bust them out like kind of every morning. Just like listening to it in the background. Really, really good covers. Steve, you got anything you want to plug, or should I just go straight to this finger gun stuff?
Upland, California.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, as always, go follow us at Go Finger Guns at all the social medias. We are on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Go Finger Guns. If you're willing to help us out, we actually have a lot more content coming tonight. Actually, tonight we have another live stream with a movie form group where they're going to improvise a full movie for y'all, so go tune in that. That's 9 p.m. tonight if you're watching that live on the Finger Guns channel. It's fingergunscomedy.com/live. Facebook, Go Finger Guns, and stay safe out there, and remember, don't vote for your landlord. And without further ado, pew 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 pew.